Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMX Sports with another video, and today I am celebrating 250 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. 2 weeks ago I did a 150 subscriber congratulations, thank you type video, and I said whenever I ended up getting 250 subscribers, I would do a question and answer. Over the course of the past 2 weeks, you guys have given me questions, and I'm about to answer them. I have about 8 questions here, and I'm really excited to get into this video, so let's get started. The first question is, do you think that you have to like the football team that represents the state you live in? No, I don't think so. I think that a lot of people like different teams for a lot of different reasons. I think that if you are born in a state and your parents like the team from that state, that's most likely going to be your favorite team. I think that if you are born in a state and your parents like a team from a different state, one of those two teams is probably going to be your favorite, but where your parents grew up, if they root for that team, that's probably going to be the team that you root for because that's the team that you were brought up rooting for. I think it really depends on the person and the situation. I think a lot of people like the team from where they're from, but I don't think that it's everyone. So that's an interesting question, but I don't really know if there's a definite answer. But you definitely don't have to like that team. That's definitely not a requirement. I know a lot of people think, oh, you're from there, you must like that team, but that's not necessarily true. Do you think the Raiders are a Super Bowl contender? I don't think that they aren't a Super Bowl contender. I just don't think that they're in the mix. They've been kind of like a sleeper team this year. They started off really strong against some hard opponents, and then they've just kind of like existed for the past 5 weeks, not really doing much. So I think that they could be a strong team, and I think that they might also not be. I think that we really don't know how they're going to be, and also Derek Carr hasn't had the most consistent career, so I think that they might not do too well in the playoffs. But if they, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm not expecting them to win a whole lot in the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won a game or two when the playoffs started to roll around. And they might not even get the spot because there are currently 8 teams fighting for 7 spots. So if the Browns step it up a little bit, the Raiders might not. I think the Raiders will beat the Browns for the spot, but it'll be an interesting finale to the season. So yeah, I do think they're a contender. I just don't think it's very strong. Do you think there's any possibilities the Steelers go 16-0, and if not, when do you think they will get their first loss? So the reason why I don't think the Steelers are going to go 16-0 is because we've only ever seen one team go 16-0 in NFL history, and that team had a plus 315 point differential for the season, which is plus 20 points for every single game of the season. Currently, the Steelers are averaging plus 9 every game, or plus 11 every game of the season. They're on track to get 177 point differential, which is a little over half of 315. So although I think the Steelers have a very strong team, they have a very good offense and a very good defense, I don't think that they're strong enough to not lose a single game. There have been many teams that have gone 12, 13, 14, 15-0 that have lost at least one game because it's very hard to go 16-0. I think the Steelers team will lose to at least one of the Ravens, the Browns, the Colts, or there's another really strong team that they have to play that I'm forgetting about. But I think that they'll go I think they'll go 14-2 or 15-1. I don't think that they'll go undefeated though. It's very hard to go undefeated, and you need to have an absolutely phenomenal team in order to do that. Will you do Draw My Life now that you're famous? I don't think I'm famous. I'm not. I only have 250 subscribers. I'm like ranked something millionth in the world for subscribers on YouTube. It's like 20 millionth or something. So no, I'm not famous at all. And I'm not good enough to do my own Draw My Life. So probably not. What made you start your channel? So a lot of this has to do with the coronavirus. I was bored in July. I've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel for like 3 years now. I really wanted to start a YouTube channel a couple years ago, but I didn't really know. I didn't have the equipment to do it. I didn't know what to start it on. My parents got me a computer for college this year, and I figured, hey, I have a computer now, so I can edit video. So since I have a Mac, I can use iMovie, and I can film myself better than I could have before. So I was like, hey, might as well start a channel. I have all this free time on my hands. So it was July 22nd of this year, and I was like, hey, I'm going to make a football video. I'm going to say hi to the world and see what happens. And August, September, October, 4 months later, we're at 250 subscribers. So I've always thought it would be fun to express my opinions to people. Not necessarily like be on a show and get paid for it, but YouTube is a way for you to express your opinions and get your opinions out there to people and say, hey, this is what I think of different things. What do you think? And have a conversation with people. Especially during this time where you can't really see people, it's really cool to be able to interact with a community of people where you can be like, hey, I like this team. What do you like? Oh, what do you think of this team? And different things like that. Like, I can talk to you guys on the comments and be like, hey, this is what I think. What do you think? And you can have a good conversation with, like, random people. And it's actually really cool. That wasn't even one of the things that I was excited about making the channel. I just thought I would be spreading my ideas. But because of how quickly we've grown, I don't even know how quickly 250 in 4 months is. But because of how I think we've grown quickly, it's been a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed every second of it. So I pretty much made it because I had a lot of free time on my hands. And I really wanted to make a YouTube channel. And it worked out so far. What do you use to make your videos with? So basically, I just use stuff that's on my computer. I use the built-in webcam and the built-in microphone. I'm thinking of getting a 1080p webcam though for Christmas. I have a 720p built-in webcam, but I'd like to get a 1080p webcam for Christmas. I'm going to ask my parents for it. And since I have a Mac, I can just use QuickTime to record it, and I can use iMovie to put it together for editing. I'm not really good with editing software. I'm going to try to get better, but I do simple things. I can put the video together physically. I can't just do anything fancy. So I'm going to try and learn some things, but I don't really know anything yet. When did I start liking the Patriots? So I started liking the Patriots at birth. I'm a born and bred New Englander. It's like 20 degrees for a third of the year. I started watching football probably after the loss to the Giants in 2012. The second time. The first time I was still a little bit too young to really like understand football. But the second time that we lost to the Giants, I was like, okay, I'm older now. I actually enjoy watching football. I understand it a little bit better, and I was like, I want to win a championship when I'm not 2 years old. So that was really the turning point. I was like, hey, I really enjoy football, and I'd love to win another championship. So I started watching every single game. I was so excited for Tom Brady to make it back to the Super Bowl and see what he can do in another championship game when I'm not 2 years old. So yeah, that's when I started liking football. What is your favorite and least favorite team? So my favorite team is the Patriots, as you guys probably know from my jerseys in the Power Rankings videos and some of my other shirts and other videos. My favorite team in the NFC is probably the Seahawks. For some reason, the Seahawks have really been like, I don't know, I really like Russell Wilson. I think that Russell Wilson's a really fun player to watch, and he's an easy person to root for. He's a really good guy. He really shows it on the field, and I really enjoy watching the Seahawks. If I were to choose a favorite team that isn't the Patriots, it'd probably be the Seahawks. My least favorite team is obviously the Jets because it's the Jets. Yeah, there's not really much else to say there. It's the Jets. They're in the division, and they're my least favorite team. And the last question, I saw this question earlier, but I couldn't find it to take a screenshot of it, so I'm just going to explain it. Basically, they said, what is your favorite football game of all time? And I have two. So, of course, because I'm a Patriots fan, my favorite football game of all time is Super Bowl 51. But that's the boring answer. 28-3, we come back in the third quarter and win the game. So, yeah, that's the boring answer. That was my favorite football game of all time. The more interesting answer, and my favorite football game before that, was Patriots Broncos. It was November 24th, 2013. I actually had to look up this game. I knew what the game was, but I had to look up when it was because I wasn't sure when or what the situation was. So, the Broncos were 9-1, and the Patriots were 7-3, and we were playing in Denver, I believe, and the Broncos were up 24-0 at halftime. And this was in 2013-14 season. So it was the year that the Broncos... No, this is the year that we won the Seattle Super Bowl. It was the year after the Broncos lost to Seattle. And it was 2 years after the Patriots lost to the Giants. And so it was one of the first seasons where the Patriots were... It was the second season since the Patriots lost to the Giants. It was my second season really watching football. And we weren't going to be in first in the conference, but we were going to get pretty close to first place in the conference. And it was 24-0, and I was like, oh man, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose one of the most important games of the season. And then Tom Brady, we scored 31 points in the third quarter. We scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. It went to 31-31 overtime, and we kicked a field goal to win the game. We had to recover 2 onside kicks in that game, I believe. It was one of the most exciting football games I have ever watched. It was such a good game offensively and defensively. Peyton Manning was 19 of 36 for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady was 34 of 50 for 344 yards and 3 touchdowns. Julian Edelman had 9 catches for 110 and 2 touchdowns. It was such a good game all around. It was one of the most fun games for me to watch, and that is my favorite game. So, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's a little bit of a different video, and we are currently technically nearing 500 subscribers. Like, not nearing, but we're about halfway there. So, I think we can get there within the month. I don't know. I'm gonna challenge you guys to get to 500 subscribers by Christmas. That's my challenge. Subscribe right now. Let's get to 500 subscribers by Christmas. Yeah, so at 500 subscribers, comment down below what you guys want to see. I want to do another subscriber special thing like this, like, hey, 500 subscriber special. So if you guys have any ideas for that, let me know in the comments below. I don't really want to do another Q&A because I think that this was a good idea, but I think that we could do other things. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know below, and I'll think of stuff myself, and then I'll decide on something. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. This isn't celebrating me. This is celebrating you guys. This is celebrating my audience. And it's celebrating everything that you guys are. I'm very happy you guys are supporting me. It's a lot of fun, and I'm happy that I can make content that you guys enjoy. So, thank you all so much for watching my videos. Thank you all so much for the support. I will see you guys all in the next video, which will probably be tomorrow. Peace out.